How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the second MCU What If on the channel. Today, we're going to explore what may have happened if Vision was saved in Infinity War. Now, how would this happen exactly? Well, before I get into that, I want to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons who have been supporting me on this channel. We have Dreadpool, Patrick Sandlin, Mr. Darkness, Josiah Calderon, Zero Finessin, John Lister, Jared, Robert Gregory, Andy, Crazed PlayStation CK, and Total Superstar. Thank you all so much. If you guys want to help me support this channel and get a lot of special perks, then make sure you click the link in the description so you can go follow me over on Patreon. That would really mean a lot. Now let's head right into this scenario. In Infinity War, we were shown that Vision was in huge trouble the entire time. The Black Order was after the Mind Stone, and as it turns out, if the stone is removed from Vision's head, then he'll just die. Though, in WandaVision, it is shown that Vision can still live on without the Mind Stone, as long as he has a power source similar to that of the Mind Stone, such as Wanda's Chaos Magic. Meaning, if the Mind Stone was successfully removed, we would still have a Vision. So, what if Shuri was actually able to remove the stone from Vision's head in time? For this, we're going to need to have one person not join the battle on the ground, Bruce Banner. Now, while I don't think Bruce is as smart as Shuri, and isn't as familiar with her tech, he can stay behind to help her if needed, to implant the arc reactor thing in Vision's head. He didn't do much on the ground level even in the Hulkbuster suit at first anyhow, and he could easily use any one of Tony's suits lying around just in case, such as the suit used by Tony in Age of Ultron or Civil War. The reason he might have one of these suits is to use the arc reactor inside of them to implant it in Vision's head once he is offline. Plus, he's going to need it if he actually wants to do something during this fight. Bruce and Shuri both try their best to get the Mind Stone taken out, and since Bruce knows Vision better since he had a part in building him, he knows what central nerves are important and what is not to be taken out. When Wanda goes down to help the other Avengers, Bruce is able to fight off Corvus Glaive in the Iron Man suit, probably not being able to defeat him exactly, but being able to hold him off so Shuri can continue working on Vision. Bruce would definitely be able to bring the fight outside, that way he can get some help, and I'm pretty sure War Machine and Falcon can go and help fight him off with Bruce, and they'll be able to beat Corvus. Since Shuri is now conscious and Vision is still on the table, I'm pretty sure that she'll be able to fully get the Mind Stone out of Vision much faster by herself. Wanda would quickly make her way back to Vision to make sure she's there to destroy the Mind Stone. And once the Mind Stone is removed from Vision, Vision is completely deactivated, and Shuri yells at Wanda to quickly destroy the stone, while she implants the arc reactor tech into Vision. Wanda is very hesitant, just in case it doesn't work. But since the stone is separate from Vision now, she doesn't feel as horrible about destroying the stone. And she uses her magic to fully destroy it. The shockwave blows everybody back, and Wanda begins to cry as she slowly makes her way to Vision's body and lays on him, saying that she did it. The moment the Mind Stone is destroyed though, Thanos makes his way to Wakanda from Titan. Thanos walks around trying to find the Mind Stone, and of course all of the Avengers try their best to hold him off as in canon, but they all fail in trying to stop the Mad Titan. Of course though, Thor is still here, and throws Stormbreaker directly into Thanos' chest. Even with all of the stones, Thanos wasn't able to stop Thor, so with one less stone, he's not going to be able to slow him down at all. And he is struck right in the chest. Thor pushes Stormbreaker into Thanos' chest, saying that he's going to pay for what he did to his people. Thanos isn't able to snap his way out of this one, but he doesn't just die right away either. He uses the Time Stone to reverse Thor striking him, and then moves out of the way and begins to battle it out with Thor. Thanos and Thor fighting against each other is a rough fight, as Thor doesn't have the element of surprise anymore, and Thanos still has a good number of stones he can use to get the edge against him. The Power Stone is definitely a huge factor here, and this allows him to get some powerful shots on Thor and send him into the dirt. The other Avengers would come in and try their hardest to get Thanos down, but no matter what they do, Thanos can counter with each and every one of the stones. That is, until a red mist surrounds Thanos, and he is lifted into the air. He is confused as he can't move a single inch of his body. He yells out in pain, not being able to use the gauntlet at all. Wanda begins to rip Thanos apart, with the Titans screaming for any of his troops to do something. Unlike in Endgame though, he has nobody around to save him. As Thanos is being ripped to shreds, Thor slices his arm clean off, dropping the gauntlet to the ground. Thanos dies a slow, brutal, agonizing death by Wanda ripping him apart. Once Thanos is dead, Thor picks up the gauntlet and looks it over. He only managed to get 5 out of 6 stones. They stopped him just in time, as if he managed to get the Mind Stone, then half of the universe would have been eliminated. Wanda just goes back up to Vision's body and tells Shuri to get to work on fixing him right away and bringing him back to her. The day is saved, with Thanos and the Black Order defeated by the Avengers. Now, this ending is a lot nicer, since pretty much nobody died that they know of. Of course, Gamora is dead, but nobody really knows that as of yet. Thor would go off to take Rocket and Groot over to Titan, where the other Guardians are for them to reunite. And he's surprised to see Iron Man there as well. Of course, Doctor Strange is very confused on how Thor showed up here, as he only saw one possibility where they won. But for some reason they won without that possibility? That's concerning. Maybe the Time Stone showed events from other universes instead? He's going to have to look into that in the future. Thor returns the Time Stone to Doctor Strange, and he takes Iron Man and Spider-Man back to Earth with him. The Guardians all mourn over Gamora, as there is no way for them to bring her back, even if they return the Soul Stone to Vormir. They just go off in mourning over Gamora, except this time they have Nebula with them to mourn as well. Captain America, Falcon, and Black Widow return back to the world, except this time they've brought along Bucky with them now that he's 100% back to normal. And they have some fun adventures for now. Falcon and the Winter Soldier's events wouldn't happen really, as since there was never a blip, the Flag Smashers wouldn't want things to go back to the way they were, as there never was a were. No John Walker either, since our boy Steve is still going to be around. Tony is alive, and not planning on dying anytime soon, so him and Pepper would have Morgan, with her being born into a new world, and being able to meet Peter. Of course for Peter, Far From Home probably wouldn't happen, as Mysterio wouldn't try to go after Peter since he has no reason to. He wouldn't try to go after Tony though, since it's pretty impossible for him to do anything at all against him, as Tony is the best security in the world. And no matter what, Mysterio would probably die. And I think he's smart enough to realize that it wouldn't end well for him, so he just wallows in self-pity and decides to write a messed up book about his trauma or something, I don't know. Bruce Banner is able to actually help out in saving Vision, so he isn't as depressed with himself, and doesn't try to combine himself with the Hulk as he did in Endgame. If anything, it's a blessing for Hulk not coming out again. He just keeps up his scientist days in S.H.I.E.L.D. and in the Avengers. Now, for the most important part in this video, is that Vision is able to be brought back as White Vision. Of course, he has no emotion, or the memories of his original counterpart, due to the stone being removed from his forehead. Luckily though, also like in WandaVision, Wanda is able to use her magic on him to bring back his memories. After all, the Hex Vision was created from Wanda, and since he was able to bring our Vision back, I don't see why Wanda wouldn't be able to do the same thing. Meaning, Vision has returned. He looks different, obviously, and he doesn't have the Mind Stone anymore, but he is still the Vision we all know and love. With Vision around now, Wanda has no need to completely take Westview over and corrupt the minds of many people. Wanda and Vision live in their Westview home in peace, with all the residents being completely fine with a couple of Avengers living there, since nothing bad has happened to them. Agatha might come to try and take Wanda's powers, but since there's a Hex descent, I don't actually think she will come around, meaning Wanda will never discover that she's the Scarlet Witch. That's pretty much all of the changes that would come out of this scenario, as it would be a much happier ending for everybody involved. Minus the Guardians, who are minus Gamora, though I'll check back in with them afterward whenever Volume 3 comes out, if it ever does. I hope you guys enjoyed this very peaceful and happy ending to Phase 3, as we have everybody being much happier and there are less threats going around. This might impact things negatively in the future, but for now, we have a very good ending. So, thank you all so much for watching, and until the next MCU What If. See you later!